Back to the Blue Noser Show, Nova Scotia's #1 podcast. This is episode number 20, and it is my great honor, privilege, and quite frankly, a very surreal moment to be joined by Mr. Lahey from the Trailer Park Boys. Mr. Lahey, how are you, sir?
Mr. Lahey, it's nice. It's a pleasure to see you, my friend.
Thank you, genitals.
So, how are you enjoying your time up here in Fort McMurray at the East Coast Garden Party, sir?
Which would you expect a polite gentleman to respond to that question? Piece of shit time? A fucked up time?
Well, I've never known you to mince words, so...
Exactly. I'm not mincing them tonight. Do you know why?
What's that?
Because it's round ground and it's good, and I've had 3 of them. I like cheeseburgers more than Randy does. People don't know that.
Get the hell out.
He loves to piss and get drunk, and I like cheeseburgers more than Randy Danders.
Now, wait a second. Where did the cheeseburger thing come from here?
Why did I bring it up?
Yeah.
Well, because you guys were just munching them and didn't even offer me one.
Oh, can we get you a cheeseburger?
No, thank you.
I had no idea.
I'm busy doing an interview now for 2 gentlemen from Verona, where we lay our scene.
We're actually from Nova Scotia.
Yeah, that's the same place. It's Novellicos in French, Nova Scotia in Latin. Do you know what Nova Scotia means?
I do.
What?
You know what? Let's do the guy from...
No, come on. Tell me, what does Nova Scotia mean?
No, you said you knew.
Well, I wanted to put the guy from Saskatchewan on the spot to see if he know what it means, but I do know it means New Scotland.
Yeah, but do you know that if you shorten it up to NOSCO, which is N-O, Nova, Scotia, S-C-O, NOSCO, it means the person within.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. It's I know, and that's because Nova Scotians are not introverted. That's not what we're getting at. But they're most self-respective. If you get a word of my head, that's a neologism, which means a new word made up on the spot. But that's okay. But it's an onomatopoeia, so you get my drift.
An onomatopoeia?
Onomatopoeia. Oh, yeah.
Oh, now look what's happened here.
Look at this.
They heard you talking about cheeseburgers.
Wow, this is.
That.
I am
cheeseburger delivery service.
As they say in wherever it was, I am chuffed. Thank you.
Now, Mr. Lahey, I get the impression from talking to you that you're a pretty introspective fellow.
Not bad, eh?
Introspective is not quite the right word.
Like a philosophic? Would that be a better word?
I am an epistemologist.
Epistemologist. Now, what's that mean?
There's another word. It's a Greek word. It means everything, and it's ontos. Means all.
How does he know all this stuff? Where have you learned this, Mr. Lahey?
Here's the problem. When I was a child, I was an altar boy.
Oh, I see.
And all those years that I was an altar boy and wasn't attacked by the pontificate, whatever, for some reason, I was aware. And I remember everything from that time. Like, I remember it was a schooner Hesperus that sailed the wintry sea. The skipper had taken his little daughter to bear him company. Remember that bullshit? But everything...
I don't actually remember that.
Everything we had to learn, I learned, and I'm doomed because I can't forget any of it. Like, I can still say the Mass in Latin.
Really?
Yeah, like Adeum qui latificat juventutem meam.
Wow.
That means to God who gives me joy in my youth. And then you got confidi really solitari voltus mea deus meus qui peccavinimus cogitatione verbo ad opere mea culpa mea maxima culpa. You know what that means?
I have no idea.
Mea culpa, through my fault. Mea culpa, through my fault.
Okay.
Mea maxima culpa, through my most grievous fault.
Right.
And that's what all Catholics say all the time, blaming themselves for all the ills of the world.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Look at this.
All you had to do was just say you got smudge on your mouth.
Well, I want to make you, I got to...
Some people call it spooge, and that is truly onomatopoeia.
Now listen though, everybody knows
I'm listening.
Mr. Lahey, but in truth, this is a very talented Canadian actor. Tell us who you are really, outside of Mr. Lahey. There's a real Canadian.
Is it okay to make the transition like that, or should we do some kind of say a verse or something? Or
listen, my simple philosophy about acting is you take yourself with you to the character, and you can immediately jump in.
Sure. Right.
There's no just writing. There's only proper and improper writing. Your Mr. Tulkaturin doesn't cross his T's. He ignores his T's. He makes his T's look like L's. His L's like H's. His H's like bees, and his bees like nothing at all. And why doesn't he dot his I's? Why doesn't he loop his E's? I'll tell you why. Because he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know how to write. And it goes on.
You see?
But see,
You see?
yeah, you see.
But now, what's your real name, though?
My real name, John Francis, as in Pope Francis.
Yes?
Dunsworth.
John Dunsworth. So you may not have known that because, of course, there's this larger-than-life persona I think that you're very well known for, which was on the Trailer Park Boys. Yeah.
Now,
You've done a lot of different things, though.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
may not realize this. What are some other things you've been involved in lately? Because I know we talked about this briefly last night, that you've been involved in.
Oh, lately I'm in several different series. I play a priest in one and a New England editor in the other. But when you ask me what kind of things that I've done, I just wanted to popped into my head was a role that I played, which has just popped out of my head. No, it was Charles Manson.
Did you actually play Charlie Manson?
I played Charles Manson.
What was this, a television film?
No, this was a play. I think I told you before that I started my own theater.
Yes.
In 1970. After leaving university, and one of the plays we did there was Charles Manson.
Wow.
And I remember I had a book, and it was called Helter Skelter.
Yes.
My mom had seen the play, and she thought that Charles Manson had been treated rather poorly.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because I when I played, hi Randy, how are you doing, bud?
Look who's here.
wow, in the background, and surprise, not to perpetuate the stereotype at all, but eating a cheeseburger.
Fight with Mr. Lahey right now.
He doesn't like my attitude.
Taking me for granted.
Yesterday, he was talking about us being second stringers, right?
Yes.
About we have nothing on our rider. All you have to do is give us a couple of beers and pick us up. But since we don't have 3 bottles of Manischewitz alcohol, 2 bottles of unplucked raisins, fucking pimento cherries, surrounded by fucking olive things with papal chili beans in them and shit like that. Randy thinks we should have toothpaste and razors and clean socks in our fucking rider, and I don't give a shit. So today, I start complaining to him. I say, Randy, how come we're not picked up on time? And then I say, how come this soupy fishy Neil guy won't let us on stage by ourselves? Why? Does he think we're gonna fucking piss the audience off or what?
So he's talking about Newfie Neil now.
Yeah.
That you guys will meet later.
So Newfie Neil, he won't go. He won't let you guys do your. He's up there with you all the time.
Yeah, and I just simply asked Randy why he thought Soupy Neil wouldn't let us up there. And Randy gets mad at me. He gets mad at me and he says, "You're driving me crazy, Mr. Lahey." But he doesn't care, Mr. Lahey. He says, "Mr. John." John, he's John, you're driving me crazy. So
there we are bouncing back and forth into characters.
Well,
but it's that easy.
You heard it, but a lot of people don't hear it. A lot of people, even when I go John and become straight, they still think I'm drunk Lahey. People phone my daughter Sarah in town, said, "I saw your father driving around downtown. You better get him off the road."
He's drunk again.
He's drunk as hell.
I don't know.
And I don't. John Dunsworth doesn't drink. Randy drinks.
He's a different guy.
Yeah, and
Now
John
listen,
Dunsworth likes cheeseburgers more than Pat Roach does.
There you go. Now listen, if we talk, when we were talking about acting and the things you've done in the past, is there one role that stands out for you where you say that's a role that I was really
Randy's
glad.
Actually, he doesn't have any roles. He is as solid. You know, here's the thing. He can make that gut dance like Monica Lewinsky.
I wonder if we're going to be able to see that. We might be able to coax that.
Last night, if you stayed long enough, you would have seen it because he thrilled the audience. He does a belly roll that will it drives women nuts and it makes men puke.